Many thanks again for joining us on the road to 2019 on ITV satellite. Of course, you're watching us now on GoTV channel 107 and Star Times channel 130. And to all our viewers across Europe and America, we thank you for keeping a date with us on the program Road to 2019, specially designed to bring you all the issues as they unfold, as they emerge on the road to 2019. Of course, respecting another round of elections in the year 2019. My name is Sonny Duke Okosun, your host on the program. And just a quick one on the road to 2019 for the effrontery of demanding for payment of his outstanding salaries and benefits. The member representing Ovia Southwest constituency in the Edo State House of Assembly, Godwin Adenomo, has been suspended by the Assembly. Adenomo was suspended on Tuesday earlier this week during plenary for 3 months for failing to appear before the House Ad hoc Committee to prove his claims of outstanding salaries and benefits amounting to 222 million naira. He was accused of not following the proper channel in line with the House rules, make his demand, which were described as political and a deliberate attempt to malign and bring the House to disrepute. The Assembly also branded Adenomo's claims as frivolous, inaccurate, and unfortunate, and of course unfounded. That's from the home scene. And then going to the National Assembly, the senator representing Delta Central Senatorial District, Ovia Omoagege, yesterday attended plenary at the Senate following the quashing of his suspension by an Abuja High Court. Report says Omoagege was seen signing the attendance register at the upper chamber and immediately walked into the chamber for proceedings of the day. Okay, now leaving legislative matters. Let's legislative matters, talking about the executive, where the Senate had on April 12, 2018, suspended Omoagege over dissenting comment on the decision of the upper chamber on adoption of conference report on the Electoral Act 2010 Amendment Bill. Omoagege, however, went to court to challenge his suspension, and the court, in his ruling, declared the action unconstitutional, saying that the Senate could not suspend a member beyond 14 days. This is coming 6 months after the budget document was presented to our joint session of the National Assembly in November. Of course, the budget was passed yesterday, but somehow we'll give you a bit of the history behind the face-off between Senator Omoagege and the leadership of the National Assembly. Well, we'll go into the nitty-gritty of today's program, which of course is the APC, nPDP, and 2019. You remember as a part of the activities leading to the 2015 election, there was a group of PDP members constituting of governors, past governors, National Assembly members, you just name it, who formed the new PDP and eventually pulled out of the PDP, the ruling party at the time, and joined the APC. Eventually, they won the election. But in recent time, the group has been complaining for lack of recognition by the leadership of the ruling party and, of course, the presidency itself. They've also complained of lack of respect and regard to members of the nPDP by way of appointment, and so many other complaints. And the bottom line is that they gave an ultimatum which also expired earlier this week. So we're looking at, did this group actually make any impact in 2019? And what is the level of response of the ruling party? And if they decide to take a walk, like many of them have threatened to do, how will that affect the ruling party in the 2019 election? I'm joined in the studio right now by 2 gentlemen. I'd like to thank very specially an Associate Professor of Law, Dr. F.O. Osadolo, from the Faculty of Laws, University of Benin. Prof, many thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much.
I also have with us in the show a politician and a public affairs commentator. I'd like to thank very especially Engineer Fidelis Eseigbe. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Prof, let me start with you. Let's look at the background of the nPDP, the new PDP as they were called in 2015. But we know to a large extent until the group started coming up to make these demands and then sending an ultimatum, I think the group was largely forgotten, all right? But let's look at the group in 2015. Did they really make any impact, as it were?
Well, the new PDP did not just start in 2015. Remember, their journey started in 2013. They formed that new PDP in 2013 and joined the assemblage of different groups of political parties at that time that formed the APC. Remember, at that time we had the CPC, we had the ACN, we had this new PDP. They all pulled together ANPP and joined the APC. And as to their relevance at that time, in their recent publication, they made it clear that they had stubborn facts that revealed that in the states where new PDP members pulled out of PDP, the old PDP as it were, and joined the APC, they brought out figures of votes that were earned in those states to show that they ushered in the administration of President Buhari as it were now. So they were relevant at that time. And I remember Atiku Abubakar, who has even pulled out now, was a member of the new PDP. Some governors, Kano governor, I think Niger and some other governors, 7 governors at that time, former governors, were all in the new PDP. They were relevant then, and I'm sure they will continue to be relevant. Though somebody said recently, the emergent chairman or national chairman of APC said that they will not be relevant, even if they decide to take a walk. Politics is not like that. Politics is a game of number. Everybody is relevant. They have shown with their stubborn facts they published that they were relevant in 2015, and ipso facto, I believe they will still be relevant in 2019. But let me say this. Politics, as Aristotle told us, is the madness of the many for the benefit of the few. That you participated in 2015, you, so to speak, walked out of your party. Your party was now old PDP. Yeah. You now pulled out, formed a new PDP. You betrayed your own party, and you expected that the new party you joined, the strange home that you entered, will accept you, will treat you like the former children that were in the same home, and give you all the benefits. It's never the same. Because in my place it is said that what you plan, how you plan to share when you are digging the rabbits, eventually when you catch the rabbits, the whole idea may change. That's what is happening to the new PDP. Okay. And I think they are already on their way out of the APC.
All right, Fidelis, you follow this story passionately from 2015, especially when the group was able to now come together and form a formidable force. Were they so relevant? Because many analysts believe that the victory of President Muhammadu Buhari was predicated on his profile, which endeared him to many people. I mean, this new PDP talk, was there any relevance in 2015?
Thank you. I remember I said it on this studio that the rush to have this merger was or is an unholy marriage that will soon be demanded for a divorce, and that is where we are now. I remember I also said that it will not take too long for them to ask for a divorce certificate for them to leave, because the marriage was consummated in an unholy ground. Now, when I hear new PDP, it's very laughable, because first, that acronym actually does not exist. What any political party or a group would have done as at that time would have been what we call alliance. When you have merged, you have merged. You see, there's a difference between alliance and merger. Alliance means that you can be in a political party and B political party and C political party. On the day of the election, we agree to give our vote to a certain person on some conditions that are defined. Okay. That's an alliance. Still remaining in your political party. But you go and now vote for a candidate in party B, whereas you are in party A. That's an alliance. A merger means collapsing your structure, forming a new name, and agreeing to have either a new name or even joining another political party. That's what happened in the case of what you have as new PDP, as it were. But however, they are still APC member. But to say what you said, in fairness, let's not lie. I had also followed the votes of Muhammad Buhari till the last time he contested. He had an average of 11, 12 million votes. Now he won. If you look at those who actually moved prior to the 2015 elections, there were a lot of governors who never had a stake in the second term. They were already done with their second term. So they were not running any other elections, majority of them.
So they were moving for safety or something?
They had nothing
for personal gain?
Yes, of course. Like he said just now, it's a game of madness of all, and few will definitely benefit of it. So they also know that this political party, that where we are now, we can no longer contest in this party. So let's pull all our followers and join these people. Again, you cannot come to somebody's house and as a tenant, you renovate the house, put tiles, paint it, and start claiming ownership. It doesn't work like that. It's not going to work. One day the landlord will tell you, I laid the bricks of this house. So those who eventually laid the bricks of the house, they are now feeling that it is stable. So there is a need, if you want to take a walk, take a walk. But however, let me say in fairness, that they are coming in actually make difference, no doubt. But I'm also again saying that if they are again pulling out, they might be pulling out very too late. That may not, because the political awareness is getting very wider, such that you and I now knows that these people are just being selfish. They are not living because they are interested about my grandmother in the village. They are not living because they want our roads to be fixed. They are not living because they want the power section to be steady. They are living because they also want a second chance. So most of us now are aware. What we just need to do is to say, okay, fine, they could not come again. We go to watch the drama. The political system of Nigeria is a drama. This is the first time, whatever that is happening now is just a typical war between the legislators and the executive. That is just what is happening now. Okay. And the judiciary, their hands are akimbo, watching them and say, okay, fine, one day our hammer will rest on them.
All right, Prof. One of the major complaints by the nPDP, as they were called then, is that despite the contributions that they made to the success of the ruling party, no recognition has been made by President Muhammadu Buhari. Then two, some of them expected so much by way of appointments and stuff like that in the course of the negotiations and discussions, that all of these didn't come to fruition. But others are saying that, look, you can't say that because we know that the Minister of Transport was a member of that group. He became Minister of Transport, I mean, after being a former governor. Even the Senate President was a part and parcel of that group. He became the Senate President. So what are we talking about?
Well, in politics, it is believed by politicians that you don't go to the river to take your bath without having enough water all around your system. And politicians don't believe in group benefits. Rotimi Amechi benefited from River State. Saraki benefited from Kwara State. What of Baraje? What of Kwakwanso? What is happening to the other members of the nPDP? Even the leaders of the nPDP. Baraje was very prominent. Baraje was a major leader in the nPDP. Atiku Abubakar was. Kwakwanso was. And even today, Kwakwanso is even difficult for him to access Kano State. It's part of all the votes that came from Kano State. So I believe that we must be fair. Most of the members of the nPDP have not been treated fairly by the APC. They ought to be recognized. Because the stubborn facts that I read, that they published, the results from the states they came from, had very strong influence in determining who became president of Nigeria in 2015. So such persons should not be relegated to the background. But the problem with politicians, even an emergent girlfriend of a politician who is in public office can even achieve more, benefit more from that politician vis-a-vis the person that contributed to his winning an election. That's the problem that is in this country. These people are not saying they want to be president. They are not saying they want to be vice president of Nigeria. Yes, in that marriage then that my friend called unholy, it was the CPC and the ACN that produced the president and vice president. But those that were not in APC, the CPC and ACN, what position were they given? Does it mean that if you give Rotimi Amechi, the Minister of Transport, from River State, it affects Baraji, or it affects Okosun in Kano. So I think that fairly, all of them ought to have been recognized. They ought to have gotten their benefits because they are followers. In politics, for you to get to that level of politics in Nigeria, a lot of followers are out there that believe that as a leader, they will benefit from you. And if you cannot deliver, your leadership becomes questionable. So they have been discredited because they took a lot of persons to join the APC. And they have no recognition, they have no benefits that are not to them. And to that extent, their leadership as a politician will be clearly discredited.
Well, this is not the first time we hear complaints from politicians, as it were. We've also heard people say earlier that PMB, as it were, was disposed to those who were members of the CPC, as it were. So what do you make of this complaint? Does it hold water?
Well, they have the facts. Those that make the allegation, they have their facts and figures. Clearly, you don't expect a president from the CPC angle of APC to be closer to the person from the ANPP angle of APC, or the person from the ACN angle of APC. Because there was a coalition, they all came together. So, it's just like in Nigeria, you quarrel with a governor. Oh, you gave contract to your friend, you gave contract to your brother. Is he supposed to give contract to his enemy? Or somebody that he has not known before? So the trust is likely to be more in favor of somebody that is closer to the person.
Yeah.
So that's how in CPC with the president, they have worked with him. He knew them from the beginning. And he has worked with them and he can trust them. So I don't blame him if those that are benefiting more in this administration are those from the CPC. Okay. Perhaps there are people that you can trust.
Okay. You feel the same way?
No.
Yeah.
I may differ a little. First, if we say that we are coming together for a merger, for a common purpose, and we are 100, and there is just, say, 20 positions to be shared, it then means that the position will not go around at the same time. If we have the Minister for Works, Housing and Power from the then ACN, Dr. Fashola, we have Ngige from the then ACN, it's not CPC. We have Amechi from the then, I think PDP.
No, NPDP.
nPDP. Yeah.
No, PDP.
Okay, PDP.
PDP. From PDP. And you can call them on and on and on. And if we are 100 and we have just 20 positions to share, Kwankwaso should wait. And other persons probably for another 10. So there's no way it was supposed to go round. Two, I also do not believe that PMB was quite closer when it comes to the executive distribution of ministerial positions. I think at that point, the man did well to spread it. But for other positions, board members as it were, it may have gone to maybe CPC better than. But when it comes to ministerial position, we can count those that came from PDP, you call it the nPDP, the ACN, and maybe CPC as it were. So at that point, the positions were well distributed. But let me quickly say again now that this is the time for consolidation.
On whose part now?
No, on the part of APC. 4 years is just too small. They are expected to consolidate now. Properly marry these new people to enable them achieve another 4 years. If they deem the resource that the new PDP, as it is called now, and others brought in, if they deem it, our party, I'm an APC member, our party will be smelling doom. So I advise that they should go back to their internal mechanism and see how they can actually read in between the lines of these stubborn facts that these people have brought out, and see how could we again come back and see that this divorce certificate that you people want to throw will not hold. Let's remarry again.
Okay.
At this stage, it's not too late.
Yes. Prof, I'll come back to you. If you just join us, it's still Road to 2019 on ITV Satellite, Channel 107, on GoTV, Channel 130, on Star Times. You can also watch us on Roku TV in UK, America, and Africa. You can also watch us online at www.itvradionigeriacom/live stream. The conversation always continues on all our social media platforms. We just want to have a go on all that we talked about today. Go to our YouTube page, youtube.com/ITV Radio NG. You can send us a comment via our WhatsApp platform. You see the number on the screen shortly. Ensure you do that so we can highlight it in the course of the program. If you just join us, we've been talking about the APC, nPDP, and 2019 election against the background that the group threatened to pull out of the APC. As far as they are concerned, they contributed so much in 2015, which led to the victory of the ruling party, and they're not getting so much in return, or they've not gotten so much in return since they contributed to the party. And so we're looking at, is this a major factor? Was this a major factor? And how will all of these impact on the 2019 election? Now, Prof, let me come to you. The environment that we're in now politically is different from what we had before 2015 and 2015. And one of the major issues is that people are talking about alliances here and there. All right. So how do you think that the nPDP, if they eventually pull out of the APC as they've threatened, will impact or fit into this new arrangement? We saw recently the CNM co-founded by former President Olusegun Obasanjo, and then of course Prince Olagunsoye Oyinlola just coalesced into the ACD, as it were. Build on that, Prof. ADC, yeah.
Yes. Well, it depends on where they now find a new home. Because, as it were, they are now oscillating and vacillating. They are not fixed. Insofar as they didn't get what they wanted in the APC.
Yes.
And they now feel that they want to move. It is incumbent upon them to tell us where they are now moving to. And the arrangement in that party will eventually determine what happens to them. But as to the CNM, the Coalition of Nigeria Movements, anchored by Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, I think that they are already derailing. This is my personal view, that it does not lie in the mouth of, with due respect to him, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, to say neither the APC nor the PDP is good. That the CNM should now fuse into the ADC, the African Democratic Congress. I don't know of any African Democratic Congress as a party in Nigeria that want to get political power. I don't know of any network, any logistics within the wards, within the local governments, in the states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, where you have the presence of ADC. So I don't know how a party called ADC will think of getting political power in the presidency of Nigeria. So I think that decision was not well researched. It was not strategic enough. There are two major political parties in this encounter come 2019. There are two. This is the APC and the PDP. So if the ADC is going to be of any challenge, it means that, with what my friend has said, they should align with any of the major political parties.
Okay.
And the founder of the CNN, who has solely said they should go to the ADC, is saying that neither ADC, neither PDP nor APC is a good party. So can they go on their own? I think that they have not started crawling, let alone moving. It cannot work. So that arrangement is dead on arrival.
All right, Fidelis, what are your thoughts along those lines?
I am afraid that they even added movement to the party. Like you said,
Congress, the party is ADC.
Before it became ADC, it was a movement.
It's not a Congress.
Yes.
I am afraid, I need to ask first and foremost, why is it that this, our elder statesman, former president, Olusegun, I am afraid why he cannot stay in a marriage for above 6 years or 4 years. Each time he produces or seemingly produces somebody, after one term or the other, there's a fight. Maybe he fought against Jonathan. Today again, Buhari is no longer good. He tore his PDP card to join forces with the APC to say support Buhari. Today again, Buhari is no longer good. Then Nigerians should start asking questions. What then is the issue? But again, this whole thing of coming together is a gimmick of deceiving each other. The new PDP, I want to again say, that are in APC now, they should be very careful, because if they are moving, they cannot form an alliance by law. Because you cannot go and pick PDP's name to form an alliance. What is open to them is a merger.
No, it's not a party.
Yes, it's a merger. I mean, what is open to them is a merger.
Okay.
Just go to another political party and adopt the name and agree. You cannot now say that you are taking a part of PDP and you are forming an alliance.
It's not recognized by the law,
It's not
by the
recognized
constitution.
by the law. It's not
Okay.
constitutionally recognized. You cannot take a part of PDP.
Okay.
But a certain political party in a whole can agree and form an alliance. But of course, you know again, the APC will not allow this new PDP to take their APC and go and form an alliance. So when they are moving, they should move in with the intention of going to form what? A merger or adopting another political party.
Okay.
Like I said, the game of this one is bad today and this one is good tomorrow is a game of interest. Including our former president Olusegun Obasanjo, it's a game of interest. Including in the so-called the new PDP, it's a game of interest.
Not new APC, not new PDP.
Okay, they are now
New APC.
okay, new APC.
I've been APC for
No, you call them nPDP. It's all game of interest. When they view the political spectrum and discover this place does not hold anything positive for us in the next electionary year, what they just do is to jump the gun. And what happens when two elephants fight? The grass suffer with the electorate.
All right, Prof, what are your thoughts on some of the misgivings about the present administration in terms of delivering on promises made?
You mean the administration of
Yes,
President
yes,
Muhammadu Buhari?
yes.
Well, for me, it's a very low score. Because if you just oppose, because how do you assess a candidate in an examination? What you were taught, questions that were asked, how the candidate answered the questions. Now, in 2015, there were promises made. There were things that Nigerians were told that culminated in the victory of the APC as a party. For us to assess the government of PMB is to just oppose those promises with what the government has delivered thus far. I think that it's been very bad. The economy is not what we were told the economy would be. The political arena, the security. In fact, for me, PMB has not delivered. Like somebody said that...
That's your personal opinion.
Yeah, that's my opinion. It's
Yes,
personal to me.
yes.
It's personal because I listened to the campaign. I heard the promises. I've been in Nigeria. I know how Nigerians now feel. I know what we were told as per dollar to naira, what we were told about security, what we were told about food, what we were told about education. Today, how can you reconcile them? Things are really bad in this country. There's no doubt about that. But I know somebody has said before, funny anyway, that if you fail an examination, you should be allowed to repeat. But the person also failed to realize that there's an extent of failure that you'll be expelled from the school. You will not be allowed to repeat at all. So this degree of failure for me is so terrible that if I am asked to advise PMB, he has done well. He came at that age, and he told us, most honestly, that he would have preferred to be president of Nigeria at an earlier age. He's been having challenges with his health, thinking of another 4 years again. In fact, it's in the interest.
Well, he has come out to express his intention to recontest.
Yes.
That's predicated on the fact that his health is okay. Yes.
With what Chief Olusegun Obasanjo said, that he should not contest election anymore. In view of his performance, in view of his health, he should join the legends of this country. Nobody has said totally that he has failed.
Are the legends there, Prof?
Yes,
Are the legends there?
yes,
because some say that's the crux of the matter.
You see, let me tell you.
Yes.
What my friend said, I disagree totally. That Olusegun changed his mind the other time. He changed his mind. A man, according to Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, has a right to change his mind. What is good to you today, tomorrow, you see the way the person is carrying on, you decide that this is not what you were supposed to do. You have the right to change your mind. So the way and manner we're all expectant. We all believe that there was a Messiah that had come. We have found that perhaps there were inhibitions here and there. that the Messiah did not deliver as we expected. And the Messiah is not getting younger. The Messiah had told us that he would have preferred to be president at an earlier age. We are aware that the Messiah is, or the supposed Messiah, is having some health challenges in tandem with his age. There's nothing wrong with that. We are all human beings. We cannot fall sick. If you hold just a head of department, the head of a unit, you know the energy it requires, you know the time it requires for you to perform, even in ITV. If you hold a position here as manager in one department, you know what it requires. Let alone the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I am of the view that those that are canvassing that the president should go on and on may also have selfish interest.
Okay, let me pause you there. Fidelis, yes.
It's another point where I'm going to differ.
Of course, you are entitled to your opinion.
You say when deliverability has a definition, and this definition starts from degree 0 to the degree 100, or percentage as it were. And they are also based on factors, index factors, that affects the system. If I tell you, Sonny Duke, by 2 months' time, I am going to give you half of my salary, and my salary is 30,000 as at when I made that promise. Before the 2 months' time, my salary is slashed to 15,000. You should be expecting 7,500. As at when these promises were made, the index factors, as it has to do with our exchange rates and our major source of income, which is the crude oil. Of course, we know what it was. Again, we should also agree that this is not the first time a government makes promises and they fail to deliver.
So you're saying that this government made promises and they failed to deliver?
Of course, I agree, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
That's established.
Okay.
That's established.
No, Prof, just hold on
What
a
I'm
moment.
saying now is this. There might be factors that necessitated that, which was, again, like I started with, if I promise to give you half of my salary, and my salary was 30, you should be expecting 15. And before the time where I'm supposed to give you, my salary has been slashed down. So you should expect what I was earning at that point in time. And that's exactly what happened. Of course, you and I know it happens in our own home. You could tell your wife, I'll give you so amount of money. Even before marriage, so many promises. But by the time you get into the realities of life, some of those things that you forecast, they get changed. Okay. Of course, you agree with me that when you are in a fire, in a queue, the only person I'm supposed to see very fully is the man that is just before me. But that man that is outside the queue may just be seeing almost everybody. So as when these people were making these promises, they were just outside. But right now they are on the queue. The next person they will see is just the next person by the queue. So they were. So it was just reality that rested on them.
Okay. Now, Prof.
Not predicated on where research starts.
Yeah, Prof. Let's look at this, because this has been a major issue since the present administration came on board, and that's the fact that the evils of the past stay haunting Nigeria till tomorrow. Just on Thursday, the National Economic Council asked some key government agencies to return about 8 trillion naira to the Federation account, or to the Nigerian purse. The audit report carried out by KPMG show that the NPA, the NTA, so many other government agencies between 2005, 2010 and 2015 did not remit monies into the company coffers, and that runs into about 8 trillion naira. The 2018 budget for Nigeria is about 9-point-something trillion naira. I mean, isn't there a correlation in your opinion on this?
Yes, that's the KPMG reports. My interest in the KPMG report is that it was also said at the National Executive Council meeting that the auditing should be extended to 2017. You see, when you restrict it to 2010, 2015, people begin to suspect that perhaps there's a tendency to victimize one person or the other. There's a tendency to blackmail the government that handed over to this administration. If you are going to audit, at least this government has spent some time. So when I heard that the thing is going to be extended now, from 2015 now till 2017, I said yes, but there's a problem. Why did it ab initio not start from 2010 to 2017? Why did they wait for a report on 2010 to 2015 before now deciding that should not be 2015 to 2017. Well, in any case, good governance should be predicated on accountability. If the agencies, from facts, from the books, were supposed to remit XYZ amount and they didn't remit, they should be held accountable.
Okay.
This is money that belongs to this country. You know, the agencies are still there. Those that served at that time perhaps are still around. They have questions to answer from the report, okay. And I'm sure they should be alive to answer it. And the same KPMG should audit from 2010 till 2015 to 2017, so that we also get the report. Okay. And they should be taken holistically, not in segments.
Okay. Fidelis, this obviously presupposes a government that is committed to the fight against corruption.
No, it's not true. It's not totally true. You see, I am afraid because if they had started from 2010 and stopped somewhere without getting to 2017, which is the last fiscal year, then there is already a premeditated fact that they want to establish. And I'm afraid that now, even if they are extending it to 2017, what is in their mind to do at the initial point when they stop at a point will still be established, because it's going to, at the end of the day, be a game of, it's going to be George Orwell's play, Animals Farm, where all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. Where some people will be victimized, others will be arrested, some will be jailed, nobody will be tried. So there is already a predetermined mind that we want to capture these people between this period and this period. So if by virtue of force, and they are now asked to extend it to 2017, let me tell you, whatever that happened between that time to 2017 will not be taken very seriously.
Okay.
That's my fear.
Yeah, I was saying just now that this, to a large extent, should be seen from the perspective of sustaining the war on anti-corruption. I mean, getting those who looted the public treasury.
No.
I mean, 18 trillion naira is a colossal sum.
Why do we start from answers to questions? You conclude before you start asking questions. That people were corrupt, people looted. We have not gone there. Even in our various government establishments, when an administration leaves, there's normally auditing. In the universities, we have visitation panels to come and look at the books. And consistently, while you are in office, there are always avenues for accountability. People come to audit the books, perhaps quarterly, yearly, and the rest of it. So there's nothing wrong. I'm not sure it's the first time that the books of nPDC, the books of NPA, the books of other agencies are being audited. There's nothing wrong with that. I said that this administration is making it to look as if it's the very first time we are fighting corruption. It's consistent with good governance. It's consistent with accountability. It's consistent with democracy. There's nothing strange about it. The only thing that is strange is that it was a particular period was targeted. And it should not be so. Otherwise, you're moving from your answer to the question. So I think that for good governance to be established, for good intention to be established, if you have a KPMG that is auditing, it should audit all the agencies from a particular period till the last fiscal year. And that is not the case.
If you just join us, you're on to Road to 2019 on ITV satellite, GoTV channel 107, and StarTimes channel 130, as well as Roku TV in UK, America, and parts of Africa. You can also follow us on our website at www.itvradioNigeria.com/live. You can watch the show again and again on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ITVRadioNG. Use other social media handles and be part of the show. Of course, a WhatsApp number, you see that on the screen shortly. Just post a comment there and let's highlight it in the course of the show. We'll take a short break, but just to let you know that our WhatsApp number 070-8734-1599. Send us a message there. We'll read it. When we return on the show, we'll be back. We'll be coming home to look at some issues that are trending. Join us again on the program Road to 2019 in a moment.
As the race for 2019 elections hots up, join Sonny Duke Okosun every Friday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. as he brings you profiles of key actors, insights, and in-depth analysis on the issues as they unfold on the road to 2019. The stage is set as the political gladiators try to outwit and maneuver their opponents in the politics or politricks on the road to 2019 with Sonny Duke Okosun. Tune to ITV on GoTV channel 107 and Star Times channel 130 every Friday 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Road to 2019 on ITV, a must watch.
Many thanks again for rejoining us on the program Road to 2019 on ITV Satellite, GoTV channel 107, Star Times channel 130. You can also follow us live online via our website at www.itvradioNigeria.com. On YouTube, youtube.com/ITVRadioNG. Send us a tweet at ITVRadioNG. You can also follow us on our Instagram page. Is on the screen, as well as our Facebook page. Okay, I'd like to thank again Dr. F.O. Sadolo, Associate Professor of Law from the Faculty of Laws, University of Benin. Thank you again for coming, Prof.
Thank you very much.
As well as Fidelis Eseigbe, politician, public affairs commentator. Many thanks again for coming on the program. Okay, let's come back home. We saw earlier, one of the stories that we read, the suspension of the member representing Ovia Southwest constituency in the Edo State House of Assembly. And the reasons given by the leadership of the House was that he made some frivolous allegations against the House, that he's not been paid. He's entitled to 220 million naira, which has not been paid. And then another committee was set up to investigate the matter and deal with the matter. He didn't show up, and as a result of that, he's been placed on 3-month suspension. Let me start with you, Prof, because you're a lawyer. Yeah, let's start with you.
Well, it's a sad day for our democracy, for that kind of thing to take place in a parliament that is supposed to act in tandem with the existing law. First and foremost, well, let's get the background of the man called Honorable Adenomo, a member of the APC in Edo State, and presently a member of the Edo State House of Assembly. Here is a man, as a member of the APC, contested the primaries that culminated in the 2015 election for the House of Assembly. In the primaries, he alleged that he won, yet the candidacy was given to another person. Like Rotimi Amechi did in River State at the time, he challenged that decision of the party from the Federal High Court to the Supreme Court. And Honorable Adenomo got judgment. In fact, the Supreme Court made a clear pronouncement that all salaries and entitlements purportedly earned by that wrong person who, in the eye of the law, was not in the House of Assembly should be refunded and paid to Honorable Adenomo. Honorable Adenomo was subsequently sworn in as a member of the Edo State House of Assembly. And now what is the issue just now? That since he was sworn in, he has not been paid his salaries and other entitlements in the House of Assembly. That even the Edo State House of Assembly has not complied with the Supreme Court judgment that salaries and entitlements purportedly earned by the man
who was there before,
who impersonated,
okay,
has not been refunded to him. My only worry is why he had to consult a lawyer to write to the leadership of the House of Assembly where he is a member. Though there are confirmed rumors that because the cabal in the APC felt he acted wrongly for challenging that decision to allow the other man to continue, he's been ostracized in the House of Assembly. He's not been treated as one of them. He's not been even allowed to fellowship with them as one of them. And perhaps the man was frustrated. He couldn't communicate while even on the floor of the House. He had to get a lawyer to write, which is not supposed to be in the proper environment.
Okay.
But having said that, what we were told was that a committee was set up.
Ad hoc committee.
Ad hoc committee was set up to investigate. The ad hoc committee claimed that it did not appear before the committee. I was not seen. I can't reconcile it. That a man who complained, a committee was set up to investigate the allegations contained in his lawyer's letter. That it was not found.
There's no way you can comprehend it or contemplate because you're a member of the House, Prof.
So what I'm saying is,
you're not a member of the House. So
yes, I don't know. I cannot tell whether he actually appeared or not.
Okay.
But it is strange that a man who complained, who is eagerly waiting to collect his salaries and entitlements, and here was a committee set up to find out the nitty-gritty of the issues, and he was not present. It is only for him to explain that. But having said that, I think that recently in this country, the Senate suspended Senator Omoagege. And Senator Omoagege went to the Federal High Court in Abuja, and the Federal High Court made a pronouncement that the suspension was unconstitutional, null and void, to the extent that it was suspended beyond 14 days. That the rule only allows for suspension beyond 14 days. I don't know whether the rule of the Edo State House of Assembly allows for suspension for 90 days. For a man who has not even appeared, he's not been heard, he has not had his day. So I expected that if it is true that the committee, it did not appear before the committee, I expected that it should be suspended indefinitely until he is able to appear. I saw the man spoke on television this morning, which means he's within this ambience. I am sure if proper notice was given to him, properly, he would have appeared. So if he has not appeared, he should be given the opportunity to appear. Instead of slamming on him 90 days suspension at the expense of his constituents from the Ovia Southwest. In fact, I listened this morning to my learned friend who is the chairman, state chairman of the APC. I was impressed with what he said. He said, Anselmo Joshua, he said that that kind of sanction ought not to inure to Honorable Adenomo, but that the members of the House of Assembly work within their rules. For God's sake, what are those rules?
Okay, so we probably need to do another research. I mean, you're a man of research into what those rules are. So,
well, I was a lawyer to the House of Assembly for some years.
So you never saw any of those rules. All right, interesting.
I don't know whether there are new ones now.
Okay. So Eseigbe, yeah.
The House of Assembly,
yes,
as it is a hallowed chambers, and they have a way of, I think they have an internal mechanism of settling some things before it becomes a public
taking affair. Some disciplinary measures.
There are some measures and steps that a member is supposed to follow before making it a public affair. If the honorable member suspended today went through that process, because I also know they are his colleagues, I want to believe they will not slam that suspension on him. They go again. My co-discussant said that the House of Assembly has not complied with the judgment of the court. I want to say that word would have been better used. They have not fully. Because first, he has been sworn in. Maybe now, his entitlement has not been paid. Two, did the judgment again put conditions that within so day to so day, this entitlement should be paid? Three, the man who collected the money before, has he returned this money? If no, should the electorate again be robbed, the taxpayers' money be taken again to pay another person? These are questions that are begging for answers. Because if the man who
is supposed to answer this question? Is it?
No, we're asking them.
Is it?
Because again, we have to answer this question.
Who is supposed to answer this question?
Let them go again. A man who took money illegally and is walking on the street freely has not returned the money. You expect my money again to be taken and be paid to another person? That is robbing Peter to pay Paul. You are still owing. So in this time, we need to find out if in the judgment there was a specific time that this man must be paid his entitlement. If no, why are we in a hurry? Why? Let's get it clearly.
So it should be indefinitely.
No, it shouldn't also be indefinitely. The judges in the court should have said, okay, between the first 45 hours or as it were, swear this man in. And within the next 3 months, pay his entitlement. Probably these things were not encapsulated and defined in the judgment. So I feel that the members of the House of Assembly, because they don't like his face, They are taking advantage of the lacuna in the judgment.
You can't say they don't like his
maybe.
face.
I said maybe.
Even you can't even say maybe.
Okay,
Let's
fine.
leave that out. Yeah.
They might be just taking advantage of the lacuna in the judgment and are watching. Or again, waiting for the man who took the money illegally to return the money.
Okay.
Because we are not going to go in again into the covers of the taxpayers
to
pay another person.
Prof, let's get some understanding from you because you're a lawyer.
There are rules of interpreting judgments. the Supreme Court didn't need to write 3 months or 4 months or whatever.
Yeah.
In the eye of the law, what is simply contemplated is that this man is the right person and the such money should be paid to him. It's not indefinitely or 3 months.
But they have not said they will not pay.
Excuse me. It's not a matter of they are saying they will not pay. What he has even earned since the time he was sworn in has even been paid. The man listed, through his lawyer, listed something like even something like budget allowance, car loan of 5 something, and the rest of them. They were particulars. He stated them out one by one. And he has not been paid any. And he's a member of the House of Assembly. Okay. I think what she should get for asking to be paid as others have been paid should not be suspension. That's not fair. That's not how democracy should run.
Okay, let's cap it up, with this line of reasoning, which is that the semi-drama in the State House of Assembly originally could have been something avoided.
Of course,
if internal democracy is allowed to prevail. Let me get to take on this. Well, I'm putting you on a hot spot because you're a party man. You know what I'm talking about.
He's an objective party man.
Okay, objective party man. Yeah, I want you to build on that plank, Fidelis.
The major problem we are still facing today that I don't know when it will be cured, that is now a menace and a virus into our democratic system, is internal democracy. And that starts from primaries. A situation where people will sit down and say, consensus. What is consensus? There's no way 300 people will sit down and agree on one thing. It is not possible. And a situation where there is no direct primaries. I expect all political parties in Nigeria to encourage direct primaries so that you will be partaker of somebody who will fly the flag of your political party. A situation where delegation is made, whereas we also didn't even give them a pass. They will just come out and pick one person. It means again the democracy is shortchanged. Meaning even me as a party man, I do not have a right until the leadership sits down to say, this is the near person. Even if it's a goat and you put a cap on his head. Because the leadership has brought the man to say, this is the man that is going to fly the flag. We just line up and we are following the person. This is the problem. Until we achieve internal democracy, starting from the primaries, where we have direct primaries, and everybody will be bold in my village to line up and say, this is the man who wants as councillor, behind the person, and they can't. We will not get there.
Okay, Prof.
No, I think the
final word on this.
The Adenemos case, the Honorable Adenemos case, is a clear example of how internal democracy should run. Direct primaries or indirect primaries, the votes should count. If you have delegates, the votes of the delegates should count. If it's direct primaries, the votes should count. In Adenemos case, he claimed that whereas he won the primaries, a different person was declared as the winner. So that was how he challenged the results and got to the Supreme Court and won. So the clear path to 2019, the clear path to democracy that will bring about development in this country is parties complying with the rules of internal democracy. Parties complying with their own constitution. Not for a godfather who fought a godfather, now becoming a godfather, and imposing candidates. That's the problem. Because if Honorable Adenemo submitted to the intimidation of the godfathers within the APC, and he didn't challenge that unholy result to the Supreme Court, for now he would have been a good boy. But today he's a bad boy because he fought for his rights.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your time on the program Road to 2019 on ITV Satellite. We thank all our viewers from across the world for being a part of the program. Be sure to join us next week, Friday, at exactly 6 o'clock. Remember, major pullout from the conversation today is that political parties must ensure internal democracy. That's the only way. Not only will the right people emerge, but it will be someone who is actually coming on board on popular votes. Godfatherism must be a thing of the past. against the background that we're still seeing it fangs here and there. When will that eventually end? I really don't know, just like Fidelis Eseigbe said a while ago. But this is what we'll call it a wrap today on the program. Big thanks to Associate Professor F.O. Sadolo. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
As well as Fidelis Eseigbe, thank you for coming.
It's a privilege.
And to all our crew for making the program a huge success. And to you watching at home, thank you so much for staying with us. Bye for now.